Hi, guys. Today's show is brought to you by the extremely kind donations of our donators ever at Patreon. Andrew, tell us a little bit about Patreon.
Yeah, all of our donators ever at Patreon, they... What? Jess, you want to try that one again, buddy?
Nope, just press it through.
I think you put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Keep pushing through. We need to get these guys give us money.
Okay, all of our current patrons are Stephanie L.,
Terry Needleman,
Max Lunig,
Benjamin Lehrer,
Chris O'Kelly,
Lily Ackles,
Mackenzie Horner,
John Donna,
Taryn the Duck, confirmed real duck on Twitter. We figured that out.
Melissa Goldman, confirmed real Goldman on Twitter.
That's Jess Lightning, better than our Jess, for sure.
Much better. She probably could say the word over.
Yeah, probably.
Ewan Cassidy, named after Ewan McGregor, fun fact, because his mom liked train spotting.
Ooh, that's cool. Haley McDonald.
Tescure.
Callum McLeod.
And Fire of September, which...
That's a cool name.
It sounds like a threat, I'm not gonna lie.
It reminds me of Aliens, like Fire in the Sky kind of thing. I don't know, it sounds cool.
Well, these folks give us a little extra financial support that helps us keep the lights on here at Musicals with Cheese. If you would like to join them in supporting us and get tons of fun perks such as patron-only commentaries, we have 3 commentaries up there. We're getting another one up there pretty quick. Our episode's a day early and a bunch of other cool stuff that only the patrons are getting. So we just have a deleted scene posted up there from one of our previous episodes that only they get. So you're missing out if you're not a patron.
Also, we are getting something new very soon. We were going to record one this week, so we're probably going to do it next week instead. Oops.
Yeah, we apologize. Do you want to say anything else about our Amazon affiliate, Andrew?
Sure, we have an Amazon affiliate link that's in the description of our episodes. If you're going to buy something on Amazon, just click that link and you'll support us as well. So, it's excellent.
Okay, enough shilling. Let's get to it.
Yes. That was an absolute disaster. Thank you, Jess.
You're welcome. Hello, I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I'm Andrew DeWolf.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew to like musical theater. And today, we have a super extra special guest with us today.
A very special guest.
Super special. Today we have a content creator and all-around hilarious person, Robbie Johnson. Robbie, say hello.
Hello, how much is my special price?
You get to decide, I suppose.
You couldn't put a price on you, Robbie.
Oh, okay. I was going to say $4.99 plus tax.
Plus tax?
Plus tax.
It depends where you're buying. I mean, you go to New Hampshire, is no tax.
You know where there's definitely no tax? Uganda.
Wow, great segue, Jess.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's...
Where is that?
Wow.
Can we get the horns? Can we get the horns in here?
Uganda. Just like Lion King. In case you haven't picked up what we were throwing down, this week we are talking about Book of Mormon. Is a musical comedy, first staged in 2011. The play is a satirical examination of Mormon beliefs and practices that ultimately endorses the positive power of love and service. The script, lyrics, and music were written by Trey Parker, Robert Lopez, and Matt Stone. Parker and Stone were best noted for creating the comedy animated series South Park. Lopez had co-written the music for the musical Avenue Q. Book of Mormon follows 2 Mormon missionaries as they attempt to preach the Mormon religion to inhabitants from a remote Ugandan village. The earnest young men are challenged by a lack of interest from the locals, who are distracted by more pressing issues such as AIDS, famine, female genital mutilation, and oppression from the village warlords. The Book of Mormon has grossed over $500 million, making it one of the most successful musicals of all time. So, gentlemen, what do we think of Book of Mormon?
A Book of Mormon is excellent, and I liked it since before we started the show, to be honest. And it's, I think, the first one that we are doing that I've actually seen.
Like live in person.
Like live and in person. I've actually seen this one. How nice is that?
What about you, Robbie?
Wow. I love it. I got a chance to finally see it live a couple months ago. It came around here where I live, so we went and saw it. It was pretty damn good.
Now, what makes it so good? Like, what makes it like one of the most impressive musicals of all time? Like, it is financially impressive. It is both storytelling impressive. What makes it stand out from like the average things that we have on Broadway currently?
Probably because it's nothing like what's on Broadway currently. I mean, what else could you think of that takes a religious text and I wouldn't say rips it apart, but at least I don't know. It's hard to say if it makes fun of it or not. I'm not really sure. But I can't imagine.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
At least the people who follow it, it makes fun of them for sure.
Yeah, but I can't imagine a successful musical being called the Holy Bible.
But you have something like Jesus Christ Superstar, but that doesn't really make fun of it. It's more just a direct interpretation of one of the stories.
Yeah, it's just telling one of the Gospels. But I don't know. It's just so weird to me because when I heard they were going to do it, I thought, oh, that episode of South Park where they did pretty much the same thing. And
which everyone you ever talk to about this, that's the first thing they bring up is like, oh, it's just like that episode of South Park, just longer, right?
No, it isn't.
Well, I mean, they do talk about the history and Joseph Smith and all that stuff, but they just do it as kind of an aside. But I will say this, and one thing I love about musicals is you have the soundtrack, and you listen to it. Maybe you can't get to New York or wherever to see it. But you listen to the soundtrack, you love the songs, and you get what it's about, but there's still so much left out. And even though you might have memorized the soundtrack and listened to it endlessly, you finally get to see the show, and there's still so much more. And Book of Mormon is definitely one of those. There are some where it's like, okay, that's all that's in between the songs. Jesus Christ Superstar, that's all there is the soundtrack. You see it on stage, it's like, okay.
Yeah, you don't really miss very much. With this one, there's a lot of there is a lot of stuff that's just talking and gags almost.
Yeah, my favorite gag is them Elder Cunningham constantly mispronouncing that girl's name. And I can't remember her actual name. I can only remember what he called her, like Nintendo 64.
He calls her like John Bon Jovi at one point.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But my personal favorite was the one that I saw where he called her NyQuil Cold and Sinus.
Her name is Nabulunji.
Okay, perfect.
So it makes sense.
Nabulunji.
But yeah.
Oh, that is racist, Jess, and you need to take that back right now.
I'm reading it off the Wikipedia.
Well, if it's on Wikipedia, it must be true.
That's true. That's a good point.
Wikipedia is a great tool. But not only did this show bring in a lot of money, it also brought us a lot of like current Broadway actors like Andrew Rannells, Josh Gad, Nikki M. James, Rory O'Malley. All these people are now staples of the Broadway world because of this show, where before this, they were not really anyone. Andrew Rannells was best known for being James from the Pokemon musical.
Well,
is that real?
Yes.
Didn't Ben Platt get his first role in Book of Mormon?
Yep, in the second national tour. So did A.J. Holmes from The Star Kid and Gavin Creel. Like, a lot of people got their start here.
Yeah, Ben Platt when he was, fat, and now he's not fat.
He was always weird looking. They never called him fat.
Well, he was definitely a lot chunkier than he was in Dear Evan Hansen.
Yes. Before he played Castboy, exactly.
Yeah.
Cast boy.
I
think
yeah.
I wanted to say that I think a huge part of the reason this is so successful is because of South Park. Honestly, didn't they do like a bunch of episodes pretty much advertising this before it came out? I remember there was one like Broadway Bro Down or something like that, like right before this came out.
No,
Yeah.
it was right after the Tony Awards, and they did it with Robert Lopez, who did the music for this with them.
Yeah.
So they hyped this up for the mainstream almost. So
Yeah, but it was funny because they just showed it right at the end, just a little quick, and then it was over. So
yeah.
And the thing about the production of this, we all know the South Park guys are known for pushing the envelope and being like, what can we do to get away with things? And they were so baffled with Broadway that there was no limit. They were like, aside from like maybe actually killing someone on stage, no one told us we couldn't do anything. And it was weird having that freedom for them.
Honestly, this is one of the tamer musicals, I think, that is out there.
Really? You think so?
There's so much like actually really edgy and depressing shit in some of these shows that you have me watch. And this one, it's just played for laughs, so it's not really that edgy, really.
yeah.
Now, why do you think this? What was that?
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go, Robbie.
Okay. Well, I was going to say they also put in a lot of their own staples of South Park into the musical. They work in some gay stuff. They work in the stuff with AIDS. They've done stuff with poverty before, like after 9/11, and they did that episode where they sent the goat or whatever. So yeah, there was definitely a lot of their staples. The only thing I never really got is, and I just thought was just maybe one step too far over the top, was why did the general have to be called butt fucking naked?
I think that's an actual general's name.
Yes, they got it from an actual general name.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think his name wasn't butt fucking naked. It was just butt naked or something like that.
Okay.
But
like that.
And then they just.
That is brand new information.
Yeah, so I think that's an actual real life joke.
Wow.
It was that is a general's name, but in the original previews, the general was General Coney, and then the stuff there just happened, so they changed it to another real general who is General Butt Fucking Naked, who is Joshua Milton Blahi. Yeah, so that's all the fun stuff you got to know about real life and how scary it is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Uganda is probably a scary place, and I don't want to go there. Sorry, all of our Ugandan listeners.
Another thing I want to bring up is that this is one of the most diverse musicals currently playing on Broadway. Like, it has a large segment of an African-American cast. And from the marketing, that is well hidden. I think that's a really weird marketing tool that they have never taken advantage of. And I find that interesting as well. Mostly because it would ruin a bunch of laughs, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like the South Park guys, I mean, we probably shouldn't talk fully about political leanings and stuff, but I don't think they would be doing that type of marketing.
Oh, no.
No, they're very libertarian based on just what I see in South Park day in and day out.
Yeah. So I don't think that's the type of marketing campaign they would be running.
But yeah, I wonder if it's like a bigger diversity than like Hairspray or something like that.
Well, Hairspray isn't currently on Broadway.
Right now. But I know to do either show, if you were to do it yourself, I don't think amateurs can do it yet, but you would have to have that specific in your cast. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense.
Exactly. So, where do we think the show leans on Mormonism and religion altogether? Because it does have like one of the most famous like "Fuck You God" songs in the entire world. But eventually it comes into a place of just believe whatever the hell makes you happy is basically the message of this.
Well, yeah, because at the end, what did they say? One of the spoiler alert.
Jeez, we're already getting into spoilers?
Oh, yeah.
No, we're fine.
The Nefertiti, or whatever her name was, she said, she's going on about why this is so important to her because she really does believe in this stuff and wants to get to Salt Lake City. And somebody else pulls her aside and goes, "It's just a story. You don't think Joseph Smith really fucked a frog, do you?" And that's what to me, it's all about. It's like, religion is just stories. And if they bring you joy, great. If they make you think a certain way and it's positive, great. But otherwise, don't read too much into it.
So you don't believe Adam and Eve really existed?
Oh, I think there was somebody. I mean, there were humans. I don't know who the first Homo sapiens were. Some science believes that they've traced it down to by mitochondria, but I don't know. They may have. I don't think there was a talking snake that made them put fig leaves over their junk.
Made them by gunpoint.
I think it was Adam and Steve. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well,
me too.
It would have been nice. However, I don't think we would have gotten very far.
Okay, well,
not for lack of
Cain
trying.
Cain and Abel managed to do it afterwards. So,
well,
you know,
I would like to know who carried that child to term.
Probably the one that died.
All right, so out of the entire musical, and it's full of gags, what is your guys' favorite personal gag in the entire musical? Because this is...
Well, I think he already said his favorite gag.
Oh, yeah, I've already said mine.
What about you, Andrew?
I actually, when I saw it live, the dance number where one of them doesn't realize he was in the dance, and then he's like, "Wait, I'm wearing like a pink shirt or something." It was bizarre. That was funny. That was a great gag.
Yeah, when I
feel like I've seen that somewhere else, so it's not like totally just this, but I think they did it really good. So
it reminds me of Spamalot, the Lancelot song, where he's kind of
where
he's kind of forced to come out of the closet, and so he's just kind of dragged into this whole gay burlesque number. But yeah, that was a good bit.
I'm not.
What about you, Jess?
I'm not gonna lie. Gag? I love the maggots in my scrotum guy.
Do you have the T-shirt?
No, but I do have a water bottle that says "I'm wet with salvation," which is another just great. That's a great lyric.
Yes, I love that song.
Okay. Do we want to go through the plot, or do you feel like we've already covered enough of it?
I feel like I covered enough of the plot, but I am interested in whether or not you think this is too plot heavy, where you feel like the themes overweigh the comedy, and like how well do you guys feel that balances?
Well,
you go first.
Okay, I remember watching it, and again, I've listened to the soundtrack a whole bunch. I've read about the plot and know pretty much what was going to happen. But there was one spot when I saw it live that I was not anticipating, and that was during the Spooky Mormon Hell Dream, and there were all these giant Starbucks cups dancing in the background. And I thought, what the hell is that all about? I thought they were talking about Starbucks being everywhere, but then someone had to remind me, Mormons don't drink caffeine. I'm like, oh, but I thought that was better now. I thought God allowed caffeine now. Like he changed his mind about caffeine, but maybe not. I don't know.
Just like he changed his mind about black people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But maybe he changed his mind since that was written. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any Mormons to ask.
Find it very interesting how the Broadway community reacted to Book of Mormon. I mean, they embraced it, obviously, but they expected Matt and Trey and Robert Lopez to be a lot more antagonistic towards the Mormons, and they weren't. And they weren't following him down the antagonistic line. Like, I remember Ben Brantley, was really like, Mormons are really bad people, don't you think? Like, I mean, they hate black people. He's like, no, they changed their mind. Like, no, Mormons are great. Stop trying to make us say we hate Mormons.
Wow, no.
Yeah, we wrote this whole thing about how Mormons are dumb, and you don't have to make us say it. Just watch the thing.
Yeah.
But I think Matt and Trey grew up in, Colorado, actually.
Yes.
And there's a shit ton of Mormons there. I had a friend who went to Colorado for, a internship or something like that, and he said every single other person that was there is from the Brigham Young college.
Oh, God.
And they were all
Yes.
Mormons.
Mm-hmm.
That whole area is apparently saturated with Mormons, just ridiculously.
Yeah, I think those are the Mormons who didn't quite make it to Utah. They just fell short. It's like the ones who stopped in Missouri. I forget which ones they were. It wasn't the Joseph Smith crowd because he died, and then Brigham Young took over. But there was another dude. I think it was Joseph Smith's son who kind of stuck around in Missouri, and that's why the Garden of Eden is in an hour north of
Jackson County, Missouri.
Right, which is about an hour north of Kansas City, because when Jesus comes back, that's what he's going to do. He's going to board a plane and to Kansas City, Missouri, and just go about an hour north to the meth capital of Missouri.
They have a meth capital?
Yeah. Some people say it is. That edge of Missouri is pretty meth heavy, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, but if you grow up with all the Mormons, it's probably pretty hard to hate them all like that, like the people wanted them to say they did.
And I feel like there's not an ounce of hate in this musical for anyone. Like, our two Mormon leads are just naive. They're not mean. They're not racist. Right. They're not anything. Like, they're naive, and that is the worst thing you can say about them. Elder Price is a little greedy, and that's a personality thing, not a Mormon thing.
Right. I mean, he's destined to get to Orlando, and he gets really pissy because he's not there, and that's how he spends most
I want to go to Orlando too, though, to be fair. To be fair
Orlando.
to him.
I love Orlando. It is a lot of fun. I get it. When he sang that song, I was like, yeah, I want to go to Orlando too. Let's go.
But if you step 1 foot out of Orlando, you're in the rest of Florida, and you're going to die.
Well, that's true. Yeah. So
but
your head will end up.
Don't leave Orlando.
You'll be a severed head on a stake.
Just don't leave Orlando, and you're fine. There's an airport there. You fly right in. You never leave. You fly right out.
Gotta fly into Tampa though. Like you're in Tampa.
Why would you want to go to Tampa?
You don't. That's just where you have to fly in.
You don't have to fly into Tampa. There's an airport in Orlando.
Go straight to Orlando. Yeah.
Wow, I learned a thing.
Actually, if you stay at Disney, you can go to the airport. You don't even have to look at another human being. Disney will pick up all your luggage.
Mickey Mouse will pick your ass up right from the airport.
Put you in a van and take you straight to your hotel room. You don't have to talk to another person. You get off that plane, and they don't even. You have to look at your luggage. It's already in your room waiting for you. It's like Hogwarts.
There's Disney agents there to fucking
wipe your ass.
You. And put you in a van, and you wake up in the hotel room.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
Then if you want to eat, they'll carry you down. Then by the time you get home and you get the bill, you're gonna have to sell your house.
Yeah, but that's Disney.
Ain't that the truth?
If you go to Disney for a week, you probably could have bought a house,
or at least put a good down payment.
Oh my goodness!
All right, do you want to go into a mid show?
Yeah, let's go into halftime here.
Halftime show!
All right, who do we have? John Bon Jovi playing for us?
Oh, yeah, we always have John Bon Jovi. But you know...
Don Bon Jovi?
Know who's paying for Don Bon Jovi?
Who?
Our very kind donators, Aver at Patreon.
No, Aver, you said.
Aver at Patreon. Andrew, who are our donators currently?
Didn't we already run through the list?
Yes. They're paying us. They all they need is their name said. They aren't asking much of us.
Stephanie L., Terry Needleman, Max Lunick, Benjamin Lear, Chris O'Kelly, Lily Ackles, Mackenzie Horner, John Donna, Taryn the Duck, Melissa Goldman, Jess Lightning, Ewan Cassidy, Haley McDonald, Taskir, Callum McLeod, and Fire of September.
They gave us a little extra financial support that helps us keep the lights on here at Musicals with Cheese. If you'd like to join them in supporting us and get tons of fun perks such as patron-only commentaries, our episodes a day early, or even earlier, come join us at Patreon. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up, I promise.
He promises.
I make a lot of promises. Do you want to get back to the show?
We would love to get back to the show.
Hello, my name is Elder Price, and I would like to share with you the most amazing book.
Hello, my name is Elder Grant. It's a book about America a long, long time ago.
It has so many awesome parts. You simply won't believe how much this book can change your life.
Hello, my name is Elder Green. I would like to share with you this book of Jesus Christ.
Hello, my name is Elder Young.
Hello.
Did you know that Jesus lived here in the USA?
You can read all about it now.
Hello.
In this nifty book, it's free. No, you don't have to pay.
Hello.
Hello is probably one of my favorite opening numbers of all time.
Yes, it's very universal.
It's so good.
But not only that, it sets up the rules for how Mormons expect things to go. Like, especially for us to, like, get it so subverted in the second half. Like, right then being like, this is what they're expected to do. This is what they're expecting. White class suburban neighborhoods that they go and they knock on the door.
They knock on the door and they say hello, and the worst thing that happens is they close the door.
Yes.
Actually,
no one's gonna get shot.
Yeah, and that song, I don't think anybody seemed to close the door because they all had people to talk to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even the guy who he told to go burn in hell or something. that what he said? He said like
Have fun in hell.
Have fun in hell. That's right.
Have fun in hell, yeah.
Where you burn. So it's implied.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a very good like stage setter, I think.
Mm-hmm. And it sets up both our characters very well. It sets up Elder Price as being the good guy that's like on the ball, doing it all, and Elder Cunningham as the fuck up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just like us, Andrew.
That's what?
But which one's which?
We all know which one's which, Jess.
Yeah, we know.
You and me, but mostly me.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, what do you think of You and Me and Mostly Me as a I Want song, so to say?
I feel like 2x2 is this I Want song.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what
sorry.
I was thinking too.
My bad. I don't know.
Yeah. You and Me is like the Wizard and I song.
Well,
sort
that's
of.
the I Want
Reminds
song.
me of. Yeah, I guess it is, isn't it?
Yeah, but 2x2 is the one where he goes off on how he wants to go to Orlando, which
You and Me is the Loathing song, except more positive.
I mean, that is a good way to look at it now that I think about it.
We're stuck together, but I don't really hate you. I just, go sleep over there.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, that whole lullaby song, especially seeing it staged because they stripped down to that Mormon underwear, whatever that's called.
The onesie.
The what?
The onesie.
is that what it's called?
No, but
it's
it
not
looks
called
like a onesie.
It looks more. I was thinking like long underwear, like you wear in the wintertime.
Mhm.
But what was?
If they take that off, what happens?
Oh,
They
die.
explode.
Yeah,
They explode.
they actually turn into that odd '70s cartoon that explained Mormonism. Have you seen that? It looks like it was drawn.
No.
Look it up on YouTube. It's hilarious. It looks like it was drawn by the people who did like heavy metal.
Oh, God.
Oh.
And they explain Mormonism with that
Wait,
style of
what is
animation?
What is this called? What is this called?
I don't remember the name. They explain Mormonism, and it's just the most bizarre animated thing. It's either the 70s or the 80s when it came out, or when it was put out. But it's very weird. But anyway, when at least in the production I saw, I'm not sure about Andrew Reynolds or Josh Gad or Ben Platt or them. But at least when I saw it, let's just say I don't think that is their underwear. There was nothing on underneath, and those lights are very bright on very thin material.
Could you see their nipples?
Or their dicks?
Well, with Elder Cunningham, I could, and I could just say that Elder Cunningham being short and chubby, well, let's just say if he's straight, he will make the ladies happy.
Good for him.
Hey,
And if he's gay, he will make the guys very happy.
well, he's got a good build. It's like a kind of like a Danny DeVito type build going
I
on.
mean,
Yeah,
it was almost like a kickstand.
He'll be very, very popular in the bear community.
Yes, that he will. That's very good.
Fuck you? God!
Hasa Diga Ebowaii.
What? When God fucks you in their butt.
Hasa Diga Ebowaii.
Fuck God right back in his cunt.
Hasa Diga Ebowaii.
Hasa Diga Ebowaii.
Hey, don't say that, Jess. That's mean.
It's gibberish language. It literally means nothing.
Yeah, does it actually mean anything? I didn't really look it up.
No,
or anything.
it's gibberish.
Is that it actually is
Yeah.
gibberish? Okay, fair enough.
Obviously a pastiche on The Lion King.
Yes.
What do you guys think of this song? Like, I think this is the part where, like, the Broadway musical we thought we were watching just takes a right turn.
This is great. when this happened live, it was like the best shit.
You can feel the old person in the audience that had, like, season tickets to just all the shows showing up to this being like, what? What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
He said that!
Oh my goodness. And they say the C word, which is so nice. I love it.
Oh, they say it many times.
It's like the best word that you're not allowed to say in America.
And what I
that
love
you
is
can
that
totally say anywhere
they
else.
say it in a way. They say it in a way that's not rarely used because a lot of people use it to describe somebody, like that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, like but they say it as an orifice, and that's not.
Yes.
That needs to come. That needs to come out. We need to use it more often as an orifice instead of an adjective.
I think we just need to start using it more. America needs to catch up with like Australia and Britain and all that.
Well, didn't the vagina monologues take that word back and now it's a good word again?
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I thought I heard that. But anyway.
I like the C word.
Possible.
It's a good word.
It's a very good word. It's so good we're not even saying it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to spoil it, you know?
I guess not.
Yeah.
See, but if we did say it, it would have so much impact, you know?
Yeah, you gotta be careful how you say the word cunt.
What the fuck?
There we go.
Yeah.
But back to the song, like, do you think it's offensive in any way, like just the way that they casually drop AIDS as a topic?
It might be offensive that they're using gibberish language for Ugandans.
Well, actually, it's not. It's not gibberish. Those words have meaning. They just have meaning in different languages. Hasa means something in Swahili. Diga means something in Portuguese. And Ebowaii is something in Japanese. I forget what. I looked it up before. I remember it was just a mixture of languages.
Mm-hmm. But putting them together still doesn't quite equal what they're claiming it means.
Right. No, it doesn't have a literal meaning like that. It's just what they made up for the song. But as far as that goes, I mean, you can understand their plight. You can understand their frustration. You can understand why, or at least that's what you're supposed to do as the audience, is understand that they are so in the armpit of the world that they're a little hacked off. And what I thought would have been interesting, and they didn't do this, and I thought they would considering how they have done South Park, I was kind of hoping the Mormon missionaries would run into the Christian missionaries, but they didn't.
Christians would never go to Africa.
Okay.
I think they do all the time, Jess.
Name once. Name one time.
Well, I mean, you did have the Crusades.
Was the People's Church a Christian church? Because they went to Africa.
If it's not, well, I'm not going to say that, but pretty much if it's not Catholic or Jewish, it's Protestant. And all that falls under the same umbrella. But usually the Protestants are the ones who go out as missionaries. You never see Catholic missionaries.
Right.
Because they know how to keep it in house, and they're probably too drunk to go anywhere anyway.
They go forth and multiply like they were told to.
And the Jew,
yes.
Yeah, and the Jews, have spent too much time in the desert, and they ain't going back.
I mean, let's not bring up the Israel-Palestine issues.
Okay, so as far as that song being offensive, it's not meant to be, because it's not like they're telling the audience or trying to persuade anybody. They're just saying, this is who we are. This is what we think about God and all that stuff. So you think you can change us? Go right ahead.
Good luck.
I think the funniest part of this song for me, and it also builds character, is just seeing Elder Cunningham and Price's first world problems. Like, they're like, why don't you give it a try? He's like, our luggage was stolen, the plane was crowded, and the bus was late.
Yeah, exactly.
Compared to, we all have AIDS, and I can't, everything hurts, and I got maggots in my scrotum.
And the women lose their clits.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The glitz could cut right off. Hey-oh.
He never said it, but does the daughter have AIDS?
She has a wonderful disposition.
No.
I understand that, but it's almost like he started to say it, but I wonder if he started to say it because he was just saying it and caught himself, or if she actually has AIDS. That's one of the mysteries of the Book of Mormon, I think.
I don't think she has AIDS. I think she's like the only person that does.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's kind of what I gathered from that too.
I wonder if she's kept her virginity.
Yes.
So no one raped her as a baby?
Well, she's never done it before.
Well, that's what she says, but you kind of, I don't have memories of when I was a baby. I don't know what people have done to me. For all I know, someone could have tried to cure their AIDS with me.
I know I was baptized, which apparently is like a foul thing to be done.
It's true.
I was not. I missed out on that, Jim.
Have you heard of the All-American Prophet? The blonde-haired, blue-eyed voice of God. He didn't come from the Middle East like those other holy men. No, God's favorite prophet was All-American. I'm gonna take you back to biblical times. 1823. An American man named Joe living on a farm in the holy land of Rochester, New York.
So how about All-American Prophet, which is basically the You Got Trouble scene in this musical?
Yeah. It's all right. It's not one of my favorites.
Really?
Yeah, it's an okay song. I don't know.
Y'all don't like Donna Yasmin?
That often.
I
mean,
I
I do, but I prefer him in colorful coats, you know?
He sang that song in Mulan pretty well, I think.
Yeah, he pretended to be an Asian man very well.
Yeah.
It was green and yellow and purple and blue and...
I think this sums up like why this is a very important song to sum up like the actual story of the Book of Mormon in a way from a Mormon that knows his shit very well. It's not tongue in cheek, not as much as the South Park episode was. And earlier versions were much closer to that South Park episode, and they're like, no, we need this to be sincere and the funniness to be like Elder Cunningham reacting to it because we need this to like offset in Act 2.
Well, I mean, I think the funniest part of the song is that by the end of it, they're saying that he's the prophet.
Mm-hmm.
That Elder Price is the prophet.
Mm-hmm. If only.
Well, also the stuff that's going on stage, which again you don't get just listening to it, but they have all these people enacting Jesus, the angel Moroni or whoever he is, and all that stuff.
I think it's pronounced Moroni. But...
Moron? What? Okay. But I will say that part's funny just because the people reenacting the death and everything and of Joseph Smith dying, they really milk it for all it's worth in the background.
Heavenly Father, why do you let bad things happen? More to the point, why do you let bad things happen to me? I'm sure you don't think I'm a flake, because you clearly made a mistake. I'm going where you need me most. Orlando!
Listen to that fat white guy.
My time to town, now it's my time to town.
Hasa Diga Ebowaii.
No time to not time to know, now it's time to town. I'm in the lead for the very first time. I'm going where the sun always
How about Man Up?
Man Up is fun.
It's fun, but not the best act ender. Act 1 finale.
Why do you say
song.
that?
It just doesn't. I mean, yeah, it's the end of Act 1. Story-wise, it's a good way to end the act, but song-wise, it feels like it falls short. It doesn't have the impact that a lot of other songs do at the midway point. I mean, that's got to really make people want to come back and not leave during intermission.
I mean, it has a good cliffhanger where it's like, how is he gonna fix this? Like, they're broken up. Like, it's very much like in diverging sections with our two leads, which is basically the crux of the story is the romance between Elder Price and Elder Cunningham in a way.
Oh, if only. That would be an awesome musical.
I mean, it's like the romance between Bialystok and Bloom and the producers. Like, that is the central crux of this story.
Yeah.
And if that's on the fritz, that is what we're coming back. Like, how did they get back together?
Right. Like I said, story-wise, it was great. Song-wise, I think it just kind of fell flat. No pun intended.
Yeah, I don't know. The song, it's like the actual music itself is not it's not big enough, I don't think.
It's like this heavy rock pastiche, though.
Yeah. I think it was almost like they were, the South Park guys were like, okay, we got to put in more South Park references. So let's put in this song that sounds very similar to this other song that we did in our show way back in the day with that heavy grungy voice that they make Josh Gad do.
Yeah.
I can't remember how it goes, but it's at the end of one of the South Park episodes where it's like,
yeah, this is
pretty much
the
same thing.
most South Park song in the whole thing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that too.
And they do a montage. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not time for a montage yet. It's time for a montage later.
Gotta do a montage.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how they bring in the old stuff and kind of
The quadrilette in the
and
end, yeah, it becomes like
yeah.
one day more in a way.
I'm like, this is not, it's not time for La Resistance yet. That's later.
Well, I think they just do that because there's a lot of Act 1 closers that do that. So they're like, oh, we have to do that.
I guess so.
It's the only way you can make it feel satisfying and be like, wow, everyone's like on the edge. We need to feel like they need to come back and see what happens to everyone.
We have to know where everyone is at this exact moment.
Yes.
You're making things up again, Arnold. You're recklessly warping the words of Jesus.
Can't you say what you want, Arnold? Come on, hobbits!
You're digging yourself a deep hole.
I'm making
things up again, kind of. But this time it's helping a dozen people. It's nothing so bad because this time I'm not committing a sin just by making things up again, right?
No!
Elder Cunningham, you have to stop him.
What is it?
Gotsuwana is going to cut off his daughter's clitoris.
Huh?
This is all very interesting, but women have to be circumcised if that's what the general wants.
No, doing that to a lady is definitely against Christ's will.
How do you know? Christ never said nothing about no clitoris.
And I find it interesting, and maybe you guys will think I'm wrong here, that making things up again is what we start Act 2 with, and not Spooky Mormon Hell Dream.
Right. Now that's a great
I think
song.
Spooky Mormon Hell Dream is more important, kind of. I don't know.
Well, making things up again, helps establish that Elder Cunningham is capable of doing something. I don't know what that is, but he can do something. He's not a complete goof up, and he's doing pretty much exactly what the Mormons believe about Joseph Smith.
Yeah,
because
through his own lens.
Through all they know, he just made it up himself. And so Elder Cunningham's pretty much doing exactly that with these people, but he's also smart enough, maybe, to make it relatable to their plights, because he keeps changing things to their plights. No, you will not have sex with that infant.
God ain't saying nothing about no clitoris.
Yes, he did.
I like it when he doesn't say clitoris.
He says
he quiets down.
He's like a woman's clitoris.
Like he's trying to be a good Mormon, but he also is like,
I have to do it.
You got to prove that it's in the Bible.
It's not the Bible. It's the Book of Mormon.
Yes, it's part 3. Remember, it's the third, another testament.
It's Return of the Jedi. Fun fact: the original version of All American Prophet was called the Bible Part 3, and it was just like the third part of every film trilogy is always the best one. So don't miss out on the Book of Mormon. Just like Matrix and the Terminator, the Bible is a trilogy too. And if you don't see or read Part 3, it'll all be confusing to you. That was the original song, and it's much funnier, but it doesn't set up as much.
Because the Book of Revelations was a big cliffhanger.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Who's this Jesus guy?
I've lived with that guilt all of my life, and the terrible vision that I had that night. No, please, I don't want to go back.
Down, thy soul is cast from the earth whenceforth he fell. The path of fire leads thee to Spooky Mormon Hell Dream. Welcome back to Spooky Mormon Hell Dream. You are having a Spooky Mormon Hell Dream now.
Let's talk about Spooky Mormon Hell Dream. Why is this song here?
It's to get...
Because it's hilarious.
It's to get what's his name back on track, and
so we can get the I believe number.
It resolves Act 1's cliffhanger way too fast, in my opinion. Like both making things up into Spooky Mormon Hell Dream.
Yeah,
but it doesn't though, because the cliffhanger is that they're not together, and then even after both of those things happen, they're still not together.
Yeah, not for a while, because he doesn't really come around fully until after the last song.
Yeah, after American Moses.
Right, but yeah, Spooky Mormon Hell Dream again was another chance for them to work in South Park stuff, because they worked in the Rep 2 from the Damien episode, and a lot of that hell stuff is stuff you've seen when they show hell on South Park. Hitler's there, the people you expect to be in hell are there, and then some people you're like, why is Princess Di in hell? Why is Johnny Cochran in hell? Why is Gene Siskel in hell? Or all these other people, you're like, okay, I guess they just threw that in there to be funny. But yeah, it was just this is Trey. That song is Trey and Matt, and I don't know where Robert Lopez is in that song.
I feel like it was more Robert Lopez in its earlier incarnation. Its original title, which I think is a funnier title, is He Double Hockey Sticks.
You are condemned, and now you serve me in He Double Hockey Sticks. Your soul is darned for eternity in He Double Hockey Sticks. Think I care think I'd rather be free? If the world doesn't make sense, then I'd rather be an H-E double hockey stick.
Down, down, my soul.
All right, fine. I'm evil. At least here I know where I stand. No more worries, no more doubting, no more questioning faith. I'm content to walk the fire in this wretched place. I belong with Satan just like him, I also fell.
And like he goes down there and he's like, all right, I'm evil just like you guys. I'm gonna be evil now. And then he comes,
but then he changes his mind.
Look Who's Evil Now from Evil Dead?
Basically, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Look at, I'm Hitler, I killed millions of Jews, I'm an H-E double hockey sticks. Like, I think that's a much better title, but I get why they changed it because they wanted it very clear that it's a dream and he wasn't really in hell. I get the confusion, but H-E double hockey sticks is just such a better title.
I believe that Satan has a hold of you. I believe that the Lord God has sent me here. And I believe that in 1978 God changed his mind about black people. Black people! You can be a Mormon who just believes.
Okay, we have to talk about I Believe. Because we have
Yes,
to.
Tony song.
That was the only song they could sing at the Tonys.
I don't think it's that good.
Do what?
I don't even think it's that good, honestly.
Really?
They could have sung I Am Africa at the Tonys.
Why would they?
They could have sung. They could have sung.
They would.
They could have done.
Hello, maybe.
They did later, but they did. Turn It Off. They should have done that because that's the big dance number. That's usually what they do in the Tonys. They do the.
Oh yeah.
The one that has the most cast members. They dance. They tap. Whatever. I mean, maybe I saw Anything Goes too much. I don't know.
I feel like that ruins too many gags. I think they wanted to do something that wouldn't ruin a lot of jokes, so to say.
Yeah, but it definitely had the Mormon stuff in it that got, and the audience reaction was exactly what I expected it to be. But at the same time, it didn't sound like uncomfortable laughter. It actually sounded like people thought it was hilarious.
Right.
On all these facts about Mormons, because the last time I checked, that's all true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I
also,
don't think
Randall's vocal range, incredible.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'm surprised he doesn't do more Broadway.
I mean, he does.
Or singing in general.
He does. He was just in falsettos, and he was absolutely incredible in that, and snubbed really hard. He was just in a play on Broadway.
Well, he needs to do more singing.
Oh, I agree. Have you seen his PBS special?
I have not.
Some of the best set list of like a cabaret special I've ever seen. Like, I highly recommend it.
I will look into that. Unfortunately, I don't even know what to call it anymore. I don't have regular TV anymore because I never watch it. Everything I watch is on Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon. So it's a waste of money to have regular
It's on
TV
Broadway
nowadays.
HD if you want to check that out, because if you're paying for that, might as well check out everything there.
That's true. I will have to look into that. Absolutely.
Desperation, mortality, loss of faith. I got the golden blade. I gotta lead the people.
Even though their prophet had died, the Mormons stuck together and helped each other and were really nice to everyone they came across. And then one day, the Mormons finally found Saltaleka City!
Saltaleka City!
And there, the Mormons danced with Ewoks and were greeted by Jesus.
Welcome, Mormons! Now, let's all have as many babies as we can and make big Mormon families!
Fuck your woman, fuck your man. It is all part of God's plan. Oh, let's fuck all as they can. Here in Salt Lake City land.
Speaking of fucking frogs, let's talk about Joseph Smith, American Moses.
The best thing about that song is that song is better on stage than audio. If you just listen to the audio, you're only getting a quarter of what that song is. I mean, it's hilarious just with the audio, but when you see the visuals, you're in the floor. It's just it's the 11 o'clock song. So it's like go. They went for bust on that one. when the long African penises came out. Oh my God.
And every time they go back to, as Andrew said, I got the golden plates. It's hilarious. Yes. And you're like, and the sincerity behind it. Like, they're all super sincere.
The best one is after Joseph Smith dies or whatever, and he's like, oh, despair, agony. Not the golden plates.
And the best part is they have these little scars they use to show the shit coming out the butt, blood coming through. It's like red, brown. It's hilarious.
It's like Lion King. It is like Orlando, as Elder Price eventually says.
Chips are down, we know just what to say. The past may be in tatters, but today is all that matters. Because today is yesterday's latter day. Thank you, God. Mahanaibu Ebowaii. Tomorrow is
finally, let's talk about Tomorrow is a Latter Day.
That's just the finale song. Most finale songs I think are some of the weakest in most musicals.
It feels very similar to You Can't Stop the Beat from Hairspray.
Now, see, that's an exception. For me, I think that's one of the strongest songs in that show is their finale song. But most other shows, their finale songs are just wrap-ups. And
what do you think is the worst finale song in any musical? Just that curiosity.
That's a good one. Probably the last song of Wicked.
For Good,
I think it's just called Finale.
Like,
no, not For Good. The reprise. Well, I think it's just titled Finale.
Yeah, it's just kind of like that's a wrap up. I mean, I guess I know what you mean.
Yeah, but again, I think that's just when they wrap it up like that. It's just more for visual and story rather than it is for music. And they're just, I don't know. It's almost like the composer's like, God damn, I don't want to write another fucking song. Let's just do that.
Well, I'm going to raise you that because Andrew and I just recently did Kinky Boots, and that had a brand new song for the final number, and it just doesn't land.
Oh,
It doesn't land because...
It sucks. That one sucked.
I don't think the song sucked is the thing. Like, it just doesn't land. It doesn't feel like it wrapped up the story. And I think that Hairspray is the exception that proves the rule, so to say.
Yeah. Dear Evan Hansen's final song was also kind of like that. It was just a reprise of other stuff.
For Forever, yeah.
Yeah, and it just didn't, I don't know, I guess they just put it all, like I said, they put it all into the 11 o'clock song, and then the last song is like, well, who cares?
Yeah, that's how I felt during the entirety of Dear Evan Hansen. Either way, let's... You know what I do care about, though? I care about our wonderful donators over at Patreon, which includes Stephanie L., Terry Needleman, Max Lunig, Benjamin Lair, Chris O'Kelly, Lily Ackles, Mackenzie Horner, John Donna, Taryn the Duck, Melissa Goldman, Jess Lightning, Ewan Cassidy, Haley McDonald, Teskier, Cal McLeod, and Fire of September, who are giving us a little bit of money to help us do this show every week. But enough about them. What did you guys think overall about Book of Mormon and your cheese rating? Andrew, I'm going to let you go first so that Robbie can get an idea of what our cheese ratings mean.
Okay. Let's see. As a whole, the music, the jokes, and everything lands pretty well throughout the entire show for this. And it has a lot of great gags that you see on stage as well, which is always a plus. And I just really like this. And I feel like most people do, so I don't think that's a controversial opinion. If you haven't seen it, you probably should. As far as a cheese rating, I don't actually know how to pronounce this, but I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm going to go with Parmigiano, Reggiano, or whatever the hell this is, which apparently is the most popular cheese in Utah. I gave it my best shot.
Okay. I love Book of Mormon. I think it's great. It has a few growing errors, like... The Orlando thing didn't hit very well right after the Pulse shootings, and I remember that was a big controversy when that happened, so I think it should adapt a lot like how Avenue Q adapts some of its lyrics to be more modern. Since it's been on Broadway for like 8 years, I think some of the cultural references should be updated as well. But aside from that, I think the show's great. Musical theater structure is perfect. It's fantastic. And I am giving it a cheese rating of Cabarol, which is one of the most popular cheeses in Uganda.
You went with the other one,
Hey.
Jess. I went with the first one. You went the...
What about you, Robbie? What did you think?
Soundtrack, loved it. Performances I've seen on live from shows before the one I actually saw in person, loved it. The songs are super catchy, which is a danger when you walk out of the theater and you're in your car blasting Hasa Diga Ebowaii with the windows down. And then you actually pass some real Mormons on the streets like, oh, hi. You just speed on by. But the songs are super catchy.
I'm making fun of you right now.
I know you are. The songs are super catchy, and which is always a plus. And when it's staged, everything is done well. The version I saw was well done, choreographed well. Story is well. I'm trying to think of any faults other than maybe what I would have done with the story, but that's not really their fault because they didn't ask me anything before they wrote it.
They should have.
Get in touch with Robbie for the next musical, Matt and Trey.
But
what are you doing? Not asking Robbie what to do with your musical?
Fuck.
And I will say one thing I do when I go to shows is I listen to the pit stuff, and because I'm an instrumentalist, so I enjoy what goes on in the pit, and that's enjoyable too to listen to. Very just lots of active stuff going on stage. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's brilliantly done, and it's what a way to take something that would normally be offensive in any other medium, but it works in Broadway, and I don't know if you could do it with any other religion. I wouldn't mind seeing someone try, but
Scientology, you probably could.
Scientology
I don't
is
think
a
very many
pretty
people
easy
get upset
target.
about that.
They would tear you down so fast. They would burn the fucking theater down because they're evil. But
yeah, they would, but no one else would.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So,
whereas Mormons are like, that's all in good fun. Come on.
As far as a cheese rating goes, I would have to say that it has to be. I would have to give it cheese whiz.
Please explain your reasoning.
Please.
I'd love
Mainly because it is the cheese of Mormons. I don't know if that's true or not,
really?
but I don't know if that's true or not. But I just imagine
He's just making this up.
I just imagine that when they're desperate for cheese,
You're making things up again, Robbie.
I'm making things up again, kind of. But it's making a lot of people happy. So yeah, I just assume they eat a lot of cheese whiz.
That's fair. I can't fight that. You know who else probably eats a lot of cheese whiz?
Your donators?
Nope. The wonderful people who are currently listening. Thank you all for listening and eating cheese whiz while listening. Please follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, at Musicals with Cheese. We're on Twitter at Cheesy Musicals. Our Patreon, as we've mentioned before, is at Musicals with Cheese. Our Instagram is Musicals with Cheese.
Our YouTube page is Musicals with Cheese.
Our email is musicaltheaterlives@gmail.com. Our title card is created by the incredible Jolene Casco. Her Instagram is at Jolene Casco. Robbie, is there anything you want to promote out there for people to come find you at?
No. Not at present. Maybe in the future, but presently I am on hiatus.
He made some great content in the olden days. You'll see me with my long bleached blonde hair in them if he ever re-uploads. Part of me kind of hopes he doesn't.
If somebody will allow me to re-upload, that would be awesome, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I still have it all stored on a hard drive. It's still in my possession.
He did the best review of Heathers I have ever seen. Like, I still stand by that being one of my favorite pieces of internet content I've ever seen.
Oh, that's sweet. Maybe we should do the Heathers musical sometime.
I love the Heathers musical, so...
I just want to say one thing here before we go. Before we did this episode, Jess told me that you sound exactly like Mr. Garrison.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say that's pretty much true.
Yeah. It's not the first time, and definitely won't be the last time I've heard it.
The first time I met Robbie, that was the first thing I said to him.
I want to see if you would sing the song Mr. Garrison sings.
Which one? The
one about his country.
About his country.
Where my country gone?
Oh, I don't know that song that well. I know the song you're talking about, but I don't know that song that well to sing it back to you.
Is there one you do know better?
Let me think. I was thinking about
death.
I was thinking about Merry Fucking Christmas, but I don't know that one as well either. I can't really.
It's all right.
I can't pull a song out like that. I'm sorry. I have to rehearse.
Why don't you just sing Our Last Summer from Mamma Mia?
Oh, God, no.
And with that.
I have sung that enough, but thank you.
Fine. I guess we're not getting any songs.
Next time, we might ask you to come prepared. Jeez.
Yes.
Jess, where do you dig up these guests, Jess? What is
Fucking
this?
amateurs, man. We're done professionally.
We are done professionally.
God, remember when Christian Bale lost his shit for no reason? Actually, after being on many film sets, he did not lose his shit for no reason. A DP should not be fucking around with lights while they're rolling camera. What the fuck was he doing?
We are done professionally.
And rightfully so.
Is that what that dude said? I haven't heard I didn't hear the Meltdown. I love Meltdown, so I'm surprised I haven't heard it yet.
Go check it out. Everybody go check out Christian Bale Meltdown. That's the takeaway from this episode.
Yes.
Have a great day.
All right, we'll see you next time on Musicals with Cheese.
Adios.
Dun 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 dun.
Bum.